Welcome back to my channel, guys. Next in food, I am your diva chef Simone-Walker, and today we're making festival. Festival is a Jamaican beloved fry bread, and I'm very excited to show you a simple festival recipe with a twist, how my family likes to eat it. Now, when you're making festival, you need something sweet and you need something savory, and of course you need a leavener. So for our festival, I'm using 2 cups of all-purpose flour, half a cup of cornmeal. Cornmeal is a must in the festival. It gives it a wonderful texture, a wonderful vibe. Festival is something that we eat in Jamaica when we're celebrating, and I think that is why we call it festival. It's festive. It's festive food. It's similar to fried dumpling, but it's also different. You also need some sweetness. It needs to be on the sweeter side, so we add some sugar for sweet. You're also going to need some milk for richness. I like to use dried milk. You'll need some leavener in the form of baking powder. So we're adding 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And remember, I told you the twist. So this is not the traditional way of making festival. We're making it with some Parmesan cheese today. Yes, you can add Parmesan cheese to it. And I'm adding half a cup of Parmesan cheese. That makes it extra savory. And because we're adding the cheese, I'm just adding a tiny bit of butter, about a teaspoon. And then finally, we need to add some salt. Be careful with the salt because Parmesan is salty. So we're adding like a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and then you mix it up into a dumpling. So you want to mix all the ingredients together. Make sure that they're well blended, just like that. See that? So it looks like just one uniform mix. Then you want to make it into a dough by adding some water. Now, when you're making dough, the water is never ever approximate because different flour requires different amount of water. So I strongly suggest you add the water a little bit at a time. Even if I write a particular quantity of water in the recipe, you need to add it in small portions just to make sure you don't add too much water to your dough. And so you have to feel it. It should not be dry, but it should not be too sticky. However, if it's a little bit sticky, you can always just add a little more flour to it. No worries. And this is coming together nicely. So we're adding, I think that would be our last amount of water. You have to put your hand in there and you have to feel it. I think that's it. So you want to get all the dry pieces of flour mixed into your dough. So you want to just rub it against the side of the pan like this. And this is what your dough looks like. It feels soft. I like to say it feels like Play-Doh. For those who have kids, probably could relate to that. And then the secret to a good festival is resting it. All right, so after you form it into a dough, you want to cover it with a tea towel, and we're going to leave this to just stay here and relax for 20 minutes, and then I'll come back and show you how to make up the festival, because that too is very important, the making up part. So I'll soon come back. All right, guys, our festival dough has been resting for 20 minutes. It's now time for me to show you how to make it up. But before we do that, you want to just give it a couple kneads just to make sure it's nice and pliable and relaxed. You can tell from how it feels when we just made it up, and now it is relaxed. It has a totally different feel. It's a lot more pliable. You can actually see it looks smoother when you try to. So that's what we want. So my rule of thumb is when you're making festival, you want to roll them in about 8 inches long. So I actually going to roll them between 8 and 12 inches long today. And to get that length, you need a 2-ounce dough ball. So I just divide them into the 2-ounce balls. For accuracy, You could weigh this, but I know what the 2 ounce feel like, so I'm just dividing them into 2 ounce balls. And then you want to keep it covered while you're working. Just want to show you what it looks like. So I like to just make it into a dumpling dough, and then on a cutting board you roll, right? It's very important. You roll it into one even thickness. See that? So this one here is about 8 inches long, and I'm going to roll a couple more, put them on my tray. I'll show you what they look like. All right guys, so we made up our festival. These are between 8 inches and 9 inches long. Note how even they are. That's very important. And our oil is at 350. That is the ideal temperature for frying. If the oil is too hot, it will burn, make the outside of the festival get brown real quick while the inside is going to be raw. So you want to just make sure that it is at 350, and we're not going to crowd the pot because they're going to rise a little, and you want some space for it to expand. And because they're light and airy, they will always float, so you have to move them around occasionally. I think we can take 2 more. These will take roughly 3 to 5 minutes to cook through. Frying needs constant attention, so don't walk away when you're frying, and you also need something to drain it on. I have my setup for that. I'll show you what that looks like when we're taking them out. Guys, these are ready, so I'm just taking them out, draining them on my absorbent paper right here. See, they're golden brown and cooked through on the inside. I'll just keep on frying the rest. Okay guys, so this is what our festival, Parmesan Festival, looks like, to be exact. So I did the traditional Jamaican festival, but with a twist. I added Parmesan cheese, so we're calling this our Parmesan Festival. Isn't that absolutely amazing looking? Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to subscribe to my channel, share, leave a comment below. I'd love to talk with you. Take care. I'll see you next time with another Jamaican inspired recipe.